You only need 30 seconds. If you know how to trigger what's needed in your potential customer's brain, you will have a sale. In this video, and indeed in the playlist that this video belongs to, you will learn how to make sales in your online world, in your offline world, and indeed, if you want to get any results in your life, you will do well to learn these principles. So subscribe, like this video, and go through this playlist. Also, if you want to fast track this, then download the resource that I have marked in the description. Your audience isn't making a logical decision when they buy. In fact, nobody makes logical decisions when they buy. We think we are. We tell ourselves we are being smart, we are weighing options, we are making rational choices, but that's a lie. Our brain tells us after our brain has already decided. The actual decision happens in the emotional part of the brain. And in the same part of the brain, of the emotional part of the brain, lives the part of the brain that's to do with pulling out your credit card. So that part for pulling out the credit card does not live in the rational part. It lives in the emotional part. So you can listen to this video and go, well, my audience are not emotional. They are making their decisions purely on the facts. That's probably the reason why you're not making consistent sales, because this credit card pulling part is where the emotions live. So this part runs on chemicals, and it runs on the most powerful chemical of all in the brain, and it's called the dopamine. Dopamine is your reward chemical. This is why we love eating chocolate. This is why we like getting a compliment. This is why we like to check our phones to get our notifications, because it triggers the dopamine, and we like that. The interesting part is the dopamine is not released when we get the reward, when we get the product, but the dopamine is released in the anticipation of it, as I've mentioned at the beginning. Why is this important? Because once they get the product, and you might have experienced this yourself. For example, you get all excited about getting an online course and etc., and then you get it. And sometimes you don't even open it until maybe 3 days later, because the dopamine was released when you were buying it, when you were researching about it, when you were getting your credit card out and punching in the numbers, and then you got that notification. You have it, and then you thought, all right, I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee and I'll open it later. It's there anyway. So once you understand that principle, you'll be able to correct and mold your marketing around that. The mistake most people make is describing what the product is instead of what does it feel like to have that particular product. And this goes for physical products, for digital products, for coaching, whatever it is that you're selling, you need to explain, describe the feeling of having it rather than the list of what is it included, which is important, but that comes later. And we're going to talk about that in the series. Check out this series. It's really good. It is life-changing. During my no sales spell that lasted for 3 years, I was an affiliate marketer then, and I was promoting a few these big programs that offered a lot, like the funnels, the videos, the teachings, the PDFs, the templates, you name it. So the list was huge, and I would list all the things that they would get, and I would always be, disappointed that they never make a sale. People would look through my offer and go like, no, thank you, not interested. And I couldn't figure out what it was, but I never did what I'm going to teach you how to do in this video and also in this playlist. Again, check out the playlist from the first to the last video. So in this particular case, what can you do? What are the practical things that you can do in your offer? First of all, paint the after picture. So don't just tell them what they're going to get, show them what their life could be if they get your product. So you could say, this course teaches you how to sell digital products. Well, so is this other course and the other course and the other course. For example, you could say, picture this. You post once and within an hour, somebody DMs you asking you how to buy your program. You send the link, they buy immediately, you don't need to convince them. And this is what, man, I feel like buying a course right now because it has started triggering my dopamine. Even though I'm saying this sentence, my brain's going, hey, where is this course? We want this. So, number 2, create urgency through scarcity. And this is not fake scarcity. Please don't say there are only 3 places left when you know for a fact there are like hundreds of places left. People understand that. But what you need to do in your offers, always create something that you will take away. For example, in 24 hours, in 48 hours, that you're going to take away, or that you're going to give something extra if they act now, or there are truly just a limited amount of spaces. When I was coaching this to one of my private clients, they told me that this makes them feel like they're tricking their clients. And I would like to assure you that you are not tricking anyone. You are simply speaking to how people's brains work. People want to feel excited about buying. They want to feel that they are making the right decision, that they're making a smart decision. And your job here is to make sure that they feel all of those feelings so that they make the right decision. If your product, your service genuinely solves the problem, this goes without saying, then using these particular techniques is the best thing you can do for your potential clients. Your next step is to go through your sales page, go through your Google Docs, go through your pitch, and see how much of painting after picture you are doing or not, as the case may be. So if you have just the features, if you've just listed what they're going to get, no, you need to go into the painting the after picture. You will do this through storytelling, and I will teach you this in my other playlist. This is an important skill, but for now, accept these principles, internalize these principles, revisit them often, go through this playlist, and I will see you in the next video.